Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So for today's video, I thought it would be a really good idea for me to kind of sit down and talk you through what it's like living in London as an aspiring artist. And obviously this is all through my experience and my point of view, okay? I know that there's a lot of other artists that are probably going through something completely different, or their journey is saying something way different from what I'll be saying today. But these are just like some points and some difficulties, and also some things that have helped me, just everything that I've experienced in my journey and my career in London. So if you want to know more about this, then please keep watching. Okay, so let me just start by saying that I'm actually originally from Cyprus. I left Cyprus to go to the UK and study professionally dance, acting, musical theatre when I was about 14 to 15. I moved to Scotland for a year, and then I moved to London for the rest of my studies and professional career. And when I went to London, I knew London because my brothers, when I was 2 years old, I already had two older brothers. The one was about 12 and the other one was about 15, I think. They moved to London to pursue their football career. So we used to go back and forth, London, Cyprus, all the time. So we knew London, we knew the UK. So it wasn't like a new territory for me, but obviously it was my first time actually moving full time to the UK. So that was obviously something new and something really exciting for me. So obviously I went straight to my second year of studies, because obviously I've done 1 year prior in Scotland, and then moved to my second, third and fourth year of studies in London. I feel like my first year was kind of like a very adjusting to London and the lifestyle, and like the whole like trying to really understand like what the industry, like the dance industry especially, is all about. Like, how am I gonna get in there? Like, I knew I wanted to dance with famous singers and do music videos and live performances and concerts and tours and all that, but I didn't know how. And I didn't know how someone can go from being at home to dancing with, for example, Jason Derulo. So I was very inspired, very motivated. I was working really hard in class, and I really wanted to make it. So I wanted to kind of understand the industry. The reason why I left Scotland was because I wanted to go to London and make sure that I had open classes around me to really explore, really network, hustle, and meet professional dancers and choreographers that are already working in the industry. And whilst I'm studying, I wanted to kind of network and hustle and go to open classes outside of my uni schedule and meet everyone and feel ready for when I graduate to move to the industry easily and kind of just ease into it and know a lot of things and be comfortable, you know? If you hustle whilst you're in your studies, I feel like it's gonna really help you. Well, that's what happened with me anyway, because I was hustling and networking a lot outside of my school schedule. I kind of was able to meet a lot of people and network. Let me take you back to my first year of living in London. I was studying full time. I was taking class every single day, you know, at the uni. So we had a full schedule, dance and contemporary and you know, a lot of academic studies as well, because obviously you're studying, you have to get a BA going, so you need to do your essays, you need to do everything. So we're doing all of that, and on top of that, every single day I would go to the gym and to an open class. Well, in the beginning it wasn't every single day. I would go to the gym every single day because I wanted to feel my best and have my stamina going and everything. So every Saturday and Sunday I would go take class. So I used to go to all the open classes that were around during the Saturdays. I would go to, I would probably take 2 classes on a Saturday and 2 classes on a Sunday, I think. So I would do that every single weekend. I was really trying to kind of talk to people and talk to choreographers and the teachers and any professional dancers that I knew were around. I just wanted to kind of like talk to them and possibly get their opinion on what I need to improve on, what I need to work on, if they could tell me anything about the industry, how it works, how they got to be where they were then, then I would try to do whatever I could to try and speak to them, because obviously it's a bit weird. I was really young as well. I was about 15, I was 16, so it was very awkward for me. I was a bit shy. Like, it was very awkward for me to just go to someone that I considered really like successful and kind of talk to them about how they made it and everything. But I used to just, every time class would finish, I used to go to the teacher and go, hi, like, thank you so much for class. What do you think I should improve on? Do you have any tips for me? And they'll be like, you should work on this and this and this and this. And then I would go about my week and kind of try and work on what they told me to work on during my classes at uni, and kind of work all the way through until the next weekend, and then ask again, I want to work on that, and then do that. So I was working really hard. So one thing you should know when you're an aspiring artist in London is that you need to work really hard. And if you happen to be studying full-time dance or whatever it is that you study, and you obviously have your studies and everything, you should know that you need to take open classes as well alongside your studies at your school. If you're doing dance, full-time dance, then I would suggest that you do your open classes during the weekend. If you're not studying dance or acting or whatever in between, then you should definitely try and at least go whenever you have your free time and your schedule. You should go and take an open class. So one thing that I learned was take open classes, hustle, network, meet people, try and speak to them, try and get as much feedback as possible onto what you need to improve on, like what you need to do. So one thing I found really easy was obviously access to open classes. But to go to open classes, you need 1, time, 2, money, and 3, effort, because being in London, you need to travel a lot. It's not like you can just, walk 2 minutes and there you go, you're taking an open class. Like, usually London has long distances, so you could be living in one place and having to travel like at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to go to class and then back. And if it's a late class, then you should know that you probably go back home at about 12:31 a.m. So you should know that it takes a lot of effort to take an open class. Don't just go. 2, it's money, because being a student in London, if you're a student in London or an aspiring artist in London, of course I can't speak for everyone, but in my opinion, like, it was really hard because I had to save up my money for food and travel, and obviously London is really expensive, and I didn't really have a lot of money to take class. But I was lucky enough to have my family help me and kind of send me some extra money for me to go and take class, because class isn't cheap, it's a bit expensive. So yeah, and also if you're studying, you don't have a lot of time to waste. You have to do your essays, you have to go to class, and you have to do this, you have to do that. So taking extra classes, open classes alongside or outside your studying schedule is really hard, because it's time that you're going to be spending, doing your essays or doing whatever else you need to do. So if you really believe that, for example, dance or being an artist is what you want to do, then you're going to have to sacrifice that extra time that you have on a Saturday or a Sunday to rest or to do your essay or to do this, to do that, and go to class, and then go back home and do it afterwards, do whatever you need to do afterwards. So that's one thing that I was doing a lot in London. In my second and third year of studies, I tried to take class as much as possible. I would take class whenever I could. If it was a Monday and I had free time after my studies, I would literally run and take the train and go to the next class that I could find. Any day of the week, I would try and make class, because I thought that it was really important. And I also improved way faster than I would if I would just study and stay in my little bubble at school, So this was such an important factor of what made me into the dancer that I am today, was taking class. And every choreographer and every teacher has something to give you. So if you're studying full-time and you've got your great teachers at your dance school teaching you every day, you're going to learn something from each teacher. But imagine if you go out of your way and do extra classes outside with choreographers and teachers that are really working in the industry now, and you know, can teach you so much more. So I would literally learn from every single teacher that I could. So any class I would take was a bonus. Money problems. Like I said before, taking class and just living in London in general is really expensive. If you're not lucky enough to either have money or are able to get help from family to help you with money, then you need to work. You need to work part-time. I started working part-time at my second year of studies because I didn't want to, you know, take money from my family anymore. I just wanted to feel like the classes that I'm taking are from, you know, my own pocket, and I've worked for them. So sometimes you need to struggle even more with time and effort and work part-time. We all do it. I feel like a lot of us have done it, and it really builds your personality as well. And it really it built me personally into being more motivated and wanting to work even harder for what I wanted to do, because I was like, I'm doing all of this because I want to be a professional dancer. I want to be a professional actor. It's like, I want to do all of that. So, you know, I wanted to do everything that I could and make it. So I was really dedicated, very determined to make it. Okay, so the next thing that I found really difficult was trying to get an agent when the time comes. My third year of studies, I was researching, I was asking people like, how do you get an agent? And I found a few ways that you could contact an agent, for example, a dance agent or an acting agent. And these were, you either email them, right? So you email them with your photos and your videos. You kind of say a little bit about you, and that's it, you send it. But let me tell you, in my experience, 90% it doesn't work. They don't see their emails. They will never ever check an email that says, hi, like looking for representation. I don't know why, but they're quite busy and they don't want to waste their time. So unless it's something that catches their eye straight away, they probably won't reply to you, and you're probably going to be sitting at home going, hello, it's me. I would like to be represented by you, but please reply to me. Something like that. I only got one of my agents like that, so it's not impossible. You have to still email. I still email to this day, email a lot of different agencies around the world. It doesn't matter whether they reply to you or not. Perhaps one day you get one reply from one agent around the world and they're like, we would love to meet you. So I actually got one agent. As soon as I finished my studies, I sent all my emails to all the London agencies around the area. So all the London agencies, and actually got one reply from one agency, and they were like, we would love to meet you. Can we please arrange an interview with you to get to know you and And so we did, and they saw me and they took my measurements, and they asked me some questions, and then they called me afterwards and they said, you'd love to represent you. So that was the first agency that I signed with, so that was amazing. So emailing agents would be something that you should do definitely all the time. I email as much as possible. Every month, I'll email at least 10 agencies around the world, hopefully hoping that one day they will reply, you know. But yeah, finding an agent is really hard if you're an aspiring artist. Even if you do find an agent, that doesn't mean that you're gonna get a job. You know, being in an agency's book doesn't mean that you are guaranteed work. So you're gonna have to still keep hustling and doing all of that. So, but finding an agent, making sure that you have an agent and you have a strong agent and you have a strong base, because especially as a dancer, for example, or an actress, in the beginning of your career, you need to have a lot of agencies. So, you know, one agency isn't enough. So the rest of my agents, I got, one I got by auditioning in an open audition at the MTV AMAs. Once I auditioned for the MTV AMAs and they saw me and they booked me on the job, then they were like, 2 months later, they were like, you know, we would love to sign you permanently on our books and, you know, represent you. So that was one way I got to get an agent. So open auditions will be really good. If they either have an open audition for their own agency books, then definitely go. If you have an open audition for another show, like for example like the MTVMAs, the Brits, or if it's acting, then it could be for a music video or for a commercial, and they're like looking for new talent, raw talent, or you know, they're just hosting an open audition for a certain job, then definitely go, because from that audition they could see you. Even if they don't book you, they might be like, you know, we really like you, so we would love to represent you. That's another thing that I did, and got another agent. So that, and then just once you're working as a professional artist, then you know, agents will start coming to you. But as an aspiring artist, when you don't have anything to back you, and if you don't have an agent to back you, then it's really, really hard to get an agent. I'm gonna have to be really, really real with you guys. I was actually very lucky in my career and got agents really, really fast. So I'm not saying it's impossible. You can do it. There's a lot of dancers and artists and actors and singers that have gotten an agent like that, were walking in the street and got an agent and got a job, and boom, their life exploded and they started working and doing all the things that they wanted to be doing. But sometimes for some careers it's hard. Like for example, in my dance career, it was way easier for me to get an agent, and it happened so much faster than in my acting career. It took way longer. But it's just the nature of just being in the arts and being an aspiring artist in a city such as London. It's really big. You've got so much talent. Everyone's talented, everyone's amazing, you know, they've got so much to choose from, so it just is what it is. Okay, so this brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was show reels. If you're an aspiring artist, then you don't have a lot of footage to show apart from videos from a show that you've done at school, a class that you've taken. These are the videos that you have in your hands and you can actually show. So you don't actually have the show reel in the sense of, this is a clip of me dancing with Jason Derulo, and this is a clip of me acting in this major film and being in this series, or this is a clip of this music video that I've done with this amazing artist. So usually show reels that catch the eye are the show reels that working artists bring to the table. So usually show reels are really hard to put together and send to agents, because obviously when you're applying to agencies or you're emailing agencies or whatever, you need to have a portfolio with your photos and ideally a show reel. Especially in acting, a show reel is a must and it's really hard to get it. You need to either get a lot of student short films when it comes to acting, or if it's dance, then you just need to, you know, either film or get a videographer to film you dancing in a good background and area, and kind of just make it look professional, and do a few of those and put them together and, you know, make a show reel that you can present to an agent and that will catch the eye. Because obviously you don't just want to put together a few videos of you training or a few videos of you saying some lines and then send it to an agent and hope for the best. You could, and again, some people have done it and have gotten, you know, an agent, like I did with my first one. Bear in mind, I emailed 20 to 25 agencies and only one replied. So if that one didn't reply, then I would have been left without an agent for another few months until an open audition occurred and I could go. So show reels are really hard to put together, but you just need to go out of your way and hire someone. If it's dance, hire someone that's a videographer, in my opinion, and do a lot of fun concert videos with your friends, with your dance crew, or just by yourself, and do cool costumes and makeup and put stories together and kind of just make a few videos. That's gonna be very, you know, time consuming, and also you need money for that. But if you want to do it, then you should probably invest in that and get a few of those around. If it's London, then around London, and present it to the agency that you want to present it, and, you know, put it together into a nice show reel. Yeah, this is like my advice when it comes to show reels. And then One other thing that I found really hard being an aspiring artist in London is just like the networking in general, networking and hustling in general. I spoke a little bit about it before, but if I'm speaking purely about networking, apologies for the dog that's barking, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I feel like she thinks she's an opera singer. She barks all the time, so I apologize. Anyway, please try and ignore it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, networking in general is really hard as an aspiring artist because you don't know anyone. You're not friends with professional dancers or professional actors, or I feel like a good place to start is by talking to your teachers. So I remember I would always go to my teachers and ask them, how do I dance with all these amazing singers, and how can I dance in a music video, and how can I be in this live performance, and how can I do this, how can I do that? And they would always, say, you need to have an agent, and you need to just keep working really hard and keep improving and making sure that your professional level in terms of dance and acting and all these skills that you need to have and meet people. So my networking kind of started by asking my teachers. Then it moved on to asking the teachers in all the open classes that I would go to. I would try and get myself into as many intensives as possible. So for example, if a massive choreographer from America came to London, I would try and go. I would try and borrow some of their time and kind of ask them, how do I do this and how do I do that? How do I become a professional dancer? What is it that I need to do? Do you have any tips on what I need to improve on? All these things that you would do in an open class anyway. So I would literally ask anyone that I could. If it was a massive choreographer that came to do an intensive, if it was an open class, and I would go to my teacher and say, hello, what do I need to do? Any professional dancers that I met in the open classes, I would kind of just go and be like, hi, I see you dancing with all these amazing people. You're so good. You really inspire me. I want to be a professional dancer myself, or a professional actress myself. Like, how do I do it? How did you make it? How did you get an agent? Like, all these questions. Networking, this is how you start. You start by asking a simple question. Like, it actually starts by saying, hi, how are you? Like, or hi, I saw you in class, you were amazing. I see you dance with all these amazing artists. Like, how did you do it? Was it amazing? Like, you just start a conversation. You just start talking to them, because obviously they're people as well, but start talking to them and start asking them questions. Dancers, choreographers, just basically speak to them is my advice on to how to start networking. But it is really, really hard, because when you're a nobody, not a nobody, but like in terms of the professional industry, if you're not in the professional industry and you're just an aspiring artist, it's kind of hard to approach them, and it's also a bit intimidating. So it's hard, it's intimidating a little bit, but just try, just ask. If you don't try, you won't know. But my experience in networking was really good. I've met a lot of people, spoke to many different artists and dancers and actors and choreographers and directors and agents. It was intimidating for sure. I still to this day get intimidated. Even as a professional artist, I still get intimidated sometimes, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to speak to this person and this is a big deal, but you just have to talk to them. They're people, just like you're a person and you're approachable. Everyone is approachable. You just need to do it in a nice way and be respectful of their time, and also be respectful towards them. If they don't want to speak to you, then don't force it, Sometimes people are just not in the mood. Sometimes they have the worst day ever. So don't be like pushy and be like, hey, like, you need to talk to me, you need to tell me this, you need to tell me that, and I need to network. Like, no, you can't be pushy. You just need to be patient, and these things take time. You don't just go from being an aspiring artist to being a professional artist so easily. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time and dedication, and just keep trying is what I would say. But overall, these are just some tips and some things that I found difficult in my time as an aspiring artist in London. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that I haven't talked about. And if you actually want to hear more, then please let me know, and I would love to do a part 2 of this video. But either way, I hope this was helpful. I hope that I've given you at least a few tips on what you could do if you happen to face some of these issues that I've talked about. But one thing that I would say is that if you have a dream to be an artist and you wanna, for example, dance with great singers and be in music videos and be in live shows, know that it is possible, and all you need to do, in my opinion, is work hard. I come from Cyprus, a country that doesn't give you opportunities like this, and I moved to a different country, worked really hard and networked and tried as much as possible to hustle my way into this crazy city that was London and wasn't home, and made it my home and made so many opportunities and so many dreams of mine come to life because I worked hard and I was dedicated. Hard work beats talent, and if you keep working, keep pushing, keep dedicating yourself to continue and make it, you will eventually make it. So this is my advice to you. I hope that you continue working for your dreams and reach for those goals, because there is no better feeling than making a dream come true. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then please like it. It will help me so much. So hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single video that I upload. Again, if you want to hear more on what it's like to be an aspiring artist in London, then comment below and I would love to do a part 2 for you guys. All right, until next time, stay safe.